Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library in our children's room with a whole new middle grade book spotlight. So for our theme this week, we are taking a look at books that are set in other countries. So we're going to kind of go on like a little mini world tour here. Now, we have a great mix of some realistic, we have some historical, we have some maybe a little bit of some fantasy, magic in it, and that's what's awesome about books set in other places. They don't have to just be realistic or historical. They just get to introduce us to a whole new place that you may have never been before, but you're gonna find yourself so immersed there, you're gonna wanna go visit there actually in real life. So let's get started. Our first one is A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. So this story provides two different stories and points of view, one that takes place back in 1985 and the other one in 2008, but they both take place in the country of Sudan, which is in Africa. So in 1985, Salva is in school when this wicked explosion happens and his teacher tells them all to run away. Don't go home, you need to run away because that means the soldiers are coming and they're gonna want to capture you to fight in the army. And so he runs away as fast as he possibly can. He has no idea where he's gonna go. He can't go back home, so he starts making his way towards Ethiopia, which is a neighboring country. Sometimes he's by himself, sometimes he's with others, but he eventually makes his way to this refugee camp in Ethiopia. But his journey just doesn't end there. It is just beginning. And then you fast forward in our story to 2008 and we meet Naya, who collects water for her village. And in order to collect water, because there is no running water where she has to walk for hours each way with a basket on her head, and that means the basket on the way back is filled with heavy water. So these two stories intersect in a way that you cannot begin to imagine, and this is based on a true story. You will want to learn so much more about this once you are done reading it. There's tons of research out there. Again, Salt is a real person, so this is A Long Walk to Water. Grenade by Alan Gratz, and Alan Gratz is amazing. I'm gonna suggest anything by Alan Gratz. Grenade is just one of his few. So it's 1945 and the United States Army is in Japan as it heads to the end of World War II. So 13-year-old Hideki is forced into service by the Japanese Army along with all of his classmates, and they are given two grenades. One is to be used to kill as many American soldiers as they possibly can, and when they were done with that mission, they are then supposed to use the other grenade to kill themselves so they do not get captured. That is how they are going to know that their mission is complete. So while we meet Hideki, then we meet this guy named Ray. He's 18 years old, he's a Marine from Nebraska, and he's getting ready to fight in his first battle. As the two sides, the Japanese Army and the United States Army, they're going to converge, and it's going to be what's now known as the Battle of Okinawa. You get to read about the battle through both of their points of view, and that provides such a stark contrast because you get Hideki's point of view, and then you also get Ray's point of view. Hideki then comes across Ray, and they both have choices to make which will change their lives forever. If you love historical fiction, if you love to learn about World War II, if you enjoy stories with different points of view, then this is a must read. This is Grenade. Lace Maker and the Princess by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. And if you have read The War That Saved My Life, we've talked about that book. That is one of my all-time favorites. It's by that same person, so you know this one is going to be amazing. So it's 1788 in France, and 11-year-old Isabel lives with her grandmother and her mother. All of them, they make lace for a living, but they're also living in poverty. And it's kind of ironic because they are basically almost living next door to the Grand Palace of Versailles where the king and queen live. So one day, Isabel is sent to the palace to deliver lace, and she literally runs into Queen Marie Antoinette. And Isabel soon finds herself kind of befriending Princess Therese, who is the queen's daughter. And they soon become best friends, and they are joined at the hip. Isabel finds herself torn between two worlds. There's this one that she has this friendship with Therese, and it provides every comfort imaginable. And then there's the one outside the palace with her family, and they are barely surviving. When threats against the royal family start to increase and more people become upset with the lifestyle and how much money the royals are spending, Isabel doesn't know what to think or what side she needs to be on because she knows the royal family way differently than a lot of other people do. This is based on a true story. This historical fiction book is amazing. Again, it's by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. You are in for a treat. This is The Lace Maker and the Princess. The White Giraffe. So, recently orphaned Martine is sent to live with her grandmother who lives in South Africa, and she lives on a wildlife sanctuary. Her grandmother doesn't know what to do with her, and Martine is basically left to fend for herself and to do whatever she wants during the day. So one day she comes across this Zulu healer who tells Martine that she has a special gift, and this gift could be a blessing, but it could also be a curse. Then she hears about this mythical white giraffe that's living on this wildlife sanctuary. Martine decides she wants to see if she can find this white giraffe because there's this legend that says that if a child can find the white giraffe and then they get on the white giraffe and they are able to ride it, then they have the power over all of the animals. When she actually comes across this white giraffe one night though, she has this immediate bond with the animal, and then she finds out there are poachers who are trying to find the white giraffe and they want to capture it. And it's going to be up to Martine to find the courage and to do what is needed to save this white giraffe. This is an amazing fantasy read for anyone, and if you love reading a book that has animals, make sure to pick this one up, The White Giraffe. The Explorer. So when a 6-seater plane crashes in the Amazon rainforest, the only ones to survive are these 4 children that are left on board. And they are complete strangers to one another. They basically just know each other's names. But now they are stranded in the middle of nowhere, and they are going to have to rely on each other to survive. They face hunger, predators, extreme weather, the unknown, and when they're trying to figure out what to do, they stumble upon this map. And they decide they're gonna follow it because what else are they gonna do? So they follow this map hoping it's gonna lead them to safety, and instead it brings them to this city that's this old ancient ruin, and it's filled with secrets. You will find yourself right there in all of the action as the 4 main characters will do whatever it takes to survive. And you will be asking yourself, what would you do if you found yourself in this type of situation? If you love books that have survival and adventure, this is a perfect choice, The Explorers. And our last one for today is The Bridge Home. So 11 and 12-year-old sisters, Viji and Ruka, run away from their abusive father, and they soon find themselves on the streets of India, totally unprepared to survive on their own, and they are in some pretty horrific conditions. They soon make friends with 2 others, Athul and Muthi, and they each have their own reasons why they are living on the streets as well. But the 4 soon become like this makeshift family of their own, and they start to work together to survive, and they actually start to make kind of a meager living too. When Ruku and Muthi both become very sick, though, everything changes, and they are going to be forced to make decisions that are going to be based on their survival, and they're going to need to come to terms with why they are where they are. This incredibly realistic book will transport you to the streets of India, and you will get to read and learn about conditions that still exist today. And this problem with homeless children is something that actually really does happen in India. This is The Bridge Home. So these are just 6 of the books we have here at Bowman Library that have taken place in other parts of the world. So I encourage you to come on down, either check out one of these, or we will be here to help you find that perfect book you're looking for that's somewhere else that's not here in the United States. I hope you have a great week, and tune back next week when we have a whole new middle grade book spotlight.